Manchester City will win this Club World Cup, but Pep has a huge problem. So, looking at the teams that are left in it, in their current state, I think Manchester City will win the Club World Cup. As it currently stands, the way those teams are playing, I think we'll walk them. So, the huge problem for Pep is this squad is absolutely massive. But we'll get into that in a little bit. First, I just want to show some fixtures or potential fixtures that we got coming up in this Club World Cup. So, the possible route to the final, I put this on me Twitter/X yesterday, so go and follow that, Nevans MCFC. Round of 16, Al Hilal. That's the next game we got. And I think Al Hilal, they're a good team. They got plenty of experience. Obviously, you know, the João Cancelos, the Koulibalys, the Ruben Neveses. They've got those sorts of players, right? So they're no pushover. But as it currently stands, I think we've got a bit too much firepower for them. Right. So we beat Al Hilal. The predicted next opponents that we get, I think, will be Inter Milan. Inter Milan, again, no pushovers in their current state. I think we do them. Once again, I think we got too much firepower. Now the semi-final. This is where it gets a little bit more tricky. Not so much pushovers. We all know how good Real Madrid can be. At the minute, they just look a bit weak at the back. They just look a bit weak and a bit lackadaisy. Now they've got Trent there, and we all know that Trent isn't a defender. He's more like our Aït-Nouri. He's an attacking fullback or a winger. Trent's very much of the same. Trent has got crazy passing ability, so you know he could come alive and he could pull one of his class passes off. You know that is a danger. That is a danger, especially since Pep plays a 3-1-6 now, which is absolutely crazy. So a 3-1-6, leaving the opponent's midfield to just do what they want. They got 2 or 3 players just basically wondering what's going on, and they don't know whether to come out or go back in, which leaves 6 on 4 or 3. 6 players on a 4 or 3 backline of the opponent, which is absolutely crazy. So what we do is essentially we force the other team into a low block. But I'll get onto that in a minute. Yeah, so we beat Real Madrid, and this is basically if Inter Milan win and if Real Madrid win, this is our possible route. And then in the final we play either PSG, Chelsea, Dortmund, or Palmeiras. Now, any of those you'd say would get in except for Palmeiras. Dortmund have got it in them, Chelsea have got it in them, and PSG have got it in them. We all know that PSG won the Champions League. So, you know, going back to how we set up the 3-1-6, it leaves the midfielders of the opponents to just basically they're pressing, but at any point we could break their line, and then they're buggered. So what they do is once bitten, twice shy. As soon as we break that line, they're a bit scared, and what we do is we force them into a low block. This is where the creativeness comes in. We got creative players like Cherki, Reinders, Aït-Nouri, and Echeverry. This is why we have so many creative players now, because essentially Pep knows that we're going to force them into a low block, and that's why we need these creative players. So that's the new system going forward. That's what it's going to be, a 3-1-6. Which leaves like the Premier League managers, it leaves them scratching their head. Like, how are they going to cope with it? Do they overload the midfield and try and move the whole midfield as one? Or do they go low block and try and counter on the break? Because we're gonna have majority of our players down the pitch, leaving 3 defenders, not very quick defenders at that. We've got Ruben Diaz, Akanji, Ake's, Vardial's a bit pacey, so you know we got a bit of defensiveness there. But yeah, I think the way it's going, and I think because this is early it's an early transition period for Manchester City and Pep's new style of 3-1-6 that right now managers won't have a clue how to counter it. Obviously, they'll try things out, and by mid-season, there'll be managers basically utilising the same setup and the same tactics that previous managers used when they beat us. I mean, if we go into the league and we lose to Wolves straight away, it don't look good. But if we're smashing teams and then somehow let's say a Leeds come and does us because of their tactics, and all the other managers will start implementing them tactics, and that's where we'll get beat, and that's where Pep will have to make tiny little tweaks. He won't change the whole system, he'll just make tiny little tweaks. But yeah, I think we're going to win this Club World Cup because the tactics are in their infancy, and managers won't know, especially inexperienced managers. Experienced managers probably have an idea, have an inkling of, yeah, I'll do this, and that'll stop them. Maybe it slows down the process of them tactics. But I think with such creative players like Echeverries and Cherkis and Reinders, I think we just bombard their box. Reinders is such a box crashing midfielder, like so good at it that, you know, it leaves, they're pretty hopeless. They're going to be pretty hopeless. But yeah, that's what this video is about. This video is about me thinking we are going to win the Club World Cup. And it's a bit of a reprieve from last season. It's a bit of a reprieve. But, you know, it doesn't fix the problems of last season. What we need to do is rectify it next season and show that we've actually got it in us to be able to do that. Now, just something else that we need to talk about. This current City squad with all these players, it's undoable. You cannot field a different starting 11 every game. We need to be getting onto the starting 11s now, where you pretty much know that like 9 out of 10 players are going to start, because you need that security, you need that consistency, and having all these players that can come in and out, it doesn't work. Pep's got a problem. Pep's got a big problem on his hands, because me myself, I'm thinking, well, who would I get rid of? I know who I'd get rid of. I get rid of the Gundogans, I get rid of Akanji, get rid of Stones, get rid of Ake. But then, what happens if Ruben Diaz is not fit? What happens if Vardiol's not fit? Then you're banking on Husanov or Victor Heist being able to step in and do that job comfortably. So there's a big problem for Pep, because I don't want to lose Echeverry. I also don't want to lose Bob. I mean, at some point you do have to cut ties. I know Echeverry was a possible destination for Echeverry was going to be Lyon until they got relegated due to financial issues, which is how we got Cherky so cheap. And now we understand. Now we understand why we got him so cheap. Harry Maguire bummed them. Harry Maguire, that last minute goal, bummed Lyon and sent them to League Two because they couldn't get that cash. But yeah, let me know what you think. Who would you get rid of? Nico G's only just come in January. You can't get rid of him. Who'd you get rid of? Nico O'Reilly? 45 million to Chelsea? But he looks a really good player. You can't get rid of him either. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Who do we get rid of? Who would you get rid of, and who do you think we're going to get rid of? Do you think we're going to win the Club World Cup? Let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.